Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. We are coming to you live again from our digital rostrum. I wanted to discuss something I learned from my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And in physics, there's an axiom that bears witness to what this great master teacher has taught us. He said that the law under which a thing comes into existence gives that thing its nature. In other words, the way you start something provides for that object or that event the nature, the vibe, the energy, or the theme by which it operates under for the rest of its life. That goes for relationships, that goes for the new year, and it also goes for the way we start each and every day. I wanted to talk real briefly about 3 things that most successful people do, not just before, but instead of breakfast. This is based upon a meta-analysis of thousands of people that have become progressive, successful, and at the top of the game in their particular industry. Number 1, out of these 3 things, these life hacks, this cheat code, these things that most successful people do instead of breakfast. Number 1 was prayer. Prayer. God says in the Bible, coming from Jesus in Matthew 7:7, ask and you shall receive, seek and ye shall find, knock and the door shall be open unto you. Ask, seek, knock. If you take the first letter of each of these words, ask, seek, knock, it still spells ask, telling us to ask. We have not because we ask not, the Apostle James said. In the Holy Quran, in the 74th chapter, the power of prayer is described as not only that which can get us something, but it can keep us in the right orientation of mind, at peace and harmony with self and others. In the 74th chapter of the Quran, there's a conversation from heaven to hell where the believers are talking to the disbelievers who are in hell. And the believers ask the question to the disbelievers, what has caused thee to enter into hell? And the disbelievers responded, we were not of those who prayed. So law number 1, instead of breakfast, prayer. Seek assistance in the Lord of the worlds, and that would turn your morning not just into a good morning, but into a God morning. Number 2, universal laws that most successful people do instead of breakfast. They always read something to acquire knowledge. The scripture says in Hosea 4:6 that my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. Well, in nature, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So if my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge, we can be rebuilt by the acquisition of knowledge. The more we feed our mind, and I would say, sisters and brothers, that all knowledge is not created equal. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that empirical knowledge or science of this world is likened unto the tap water, and that revelation or spiritual wisdom from God is likened unto rainwater. 8 minutes of rainwater on plants, vegetables, or grass will do more for the growth and development than 8 hours of running the water hose. So it is when you feed the mind. If we feed the mind spiritual knowledge, it will do more for our growth and development. And as you can see in this image, when you open up a book, it looks kind of like a bird that's flying. Why? Because knowledge raises you above the circumstances of life and gives you what they call that bird's eye view, where you can look down on the problems, look down on the situations and circumstances of life and see how to navigate through them and come out of them more effectively. And that third thing, sisters and brothers, that most successful people do instead of breakfast, instead of eating cereal, they eat miles. Exercise. Exercise. In October of 2000, in the New York Times, there was an article that was done that studied exercise and its impact on the mind and the brain. And they found that exercise is one of the best self-medication methods that you can employ on yourself. Really, the truth is, motion is medicine. What they found in this study is that exercise did for the brain and for depression better than even what Zoloft did. The more exercise and physical training that we engage in, especially early in the morning, we began to alter our mood, our energy, our blood flow, and we equip ourselves to have a more successful day. Well, a life is made up of decades. Decades are made up of years. Years are made of months. Months are made of days. And if we can start each day with prayer, with study, and with some motion, then we will be engaged in doing that which will start our day and create our life. The law under which a thing comes into existence gives that thing its nature. What will be the nature, the energy, the vibe, the atmosphere, the theme of your day? Start it with prayer, study of spiritual knowledge, and getting out there and doing something to create motion. You don't have to run, you don't have to walk, you don't have to ride the bike. Find out what you like doing, because it is enjoyment that keeps engagement. Do what you like consistently every single day to get your blood pumping and moving. Keep your mind in spiritual wisdom and start off with prayer, and we will have a beautiful life by the grace and power of God and the working of our own hands and feet in study and exercise. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.